All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for everyone to come. Um, and yeah, so we have, so let's start. I have Brandon here and Aiman. So Brandon is one of our traders that recently started working with Aiman to get some mentorship from him. And he emailed me a while back about his equity curve and what he actually achieved during, after starting the mentorship with Aiman. And as you know, guys, in Bearable Traders, we have a couple of mentorship sessions. Most of them are concentrated in Thursday. It starts with this one at 11 a.m., either me do it or Aiman or Dima or Simon. And then we have Ed Martin. He's doing it at 4:30, just after the market close, in his own chat room. So he does go through Q&A with traders, help them, give them tips for consistency. And sometimes he trades live in the earnings, depending on what's happening on Thursday. And then, of course, Thor is having his mentorship sessions at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So these are all, semi-private mentorship. There are smaller groups. But obviously, the experienced traders do the private mentorship as well. I think that's one thing that I think, Brandon, you and Aiman did some sort of a private mentorship, I guess. Yes? Is that?
We did. Yes, I reached out to Aiman shortly after joining BBT.
Yeah, actually mute that, for the echo. Yeah, so perfect. So that's why I wanted you to have a chat, because your equity curve is amazing. It's a very, very typical, you're going to see that's a very, very typical hockey stick equity curve. And, I think traders should see that, and it's going to be very, very, at least motivating for them and inspiring and encouraging for them that, you actually can do it if you do it in the right way. But having said that, you've got to be really careful that the successful traders are successful, as their last trade. Getting a consistency, equity curve goes up, always can go down, really. It's just like being fit and being healthy. You can never say that, okay, I'm fit and I'm healthy from now on, this is it. No, you always have to watch your trade, you always have to watch your diet, you always have to watch your physical activity and that type of thing. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to have you. So maybe I hand it over to you and Aiman. You talk about a little bit about who you are, when you started, what you've done. And then I know in this presentation you're going to talk about your trade book, how you build it, show us some of your good trades, bad trades, and give some tips to traders who are really looking forward to get to the same level of success and consistency that you are seeing right now. Yeah,
NVDA last equals 298.44.
Yeah, as Andrew mentioned, training it's mainly about discipline, right? What we give you here at BBT, we give you the tips, we give you the strategies, we offer you everything you need, or everything that could help you become consistent. But eventually it's up to you to follow the rules, to practice, and to give it the time. And Brando here, he spent a lot of time, and he would tell you how exhausted he used to get sitting in front of the screens for hours and hours waiting for that perfect trade. But enough talking about introduction. And Brando, let's leave it to you and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name is Brandon Z. I go by the screen name Brando on BBT. Prior to trading, I still am somewhat involved with online digital marketing, pay-per-click advertising, search engine optimization, but I was specifically involved in the ticket resale market. And I have a little bit of understanding of what it takes to build a business. It took us about 10 years at our peak to go from 0 to 10 figures in sales. Unfortunately, as we all know, what happened in March of 2019 or 2020, COVID, and everything kind of fell off a cliff at that point. And I've always been interested in trading. I kind of dabbled a little bit with my RRSP, TFSA, but nothing to the extent of what I'm doing.
RIBN.
So
last equals 96.35.
Slowed down for us in the ticketing industry. I jumped into trading full time, and I think like most people, introduced to the BBT community by Andrew's book. And I started with I'm not great with reading and my attention span, so I started with Audible. I tend to learn a little bit better with YouTube videos, audio, And I think I listened to Andrew's book at least a dozen times. There were so many terms and wording. I had no idea what it was. So I would have to pause, Google, what is a VWAP? What is a 9 EMA? What is a 9 SMA? I had no clue. I mean, I started from scratch.
So you had literally no background, and you mentioned, and you mentioned that like it took you 10 years, 5 to 10 years to get your business to a level where it was at, right? Could you compare that to trading, right?
It's the same, but for myself, I find it's a blessing, but it's also a hindrance because I thought coming into this, I think like a lot of professionals, I got this. If I can do this and achieve these numbers, surely I can do it with trading. And I was wrong. You get some success at the beginning. It's purely luck. And again, like most, jump in this chat room, follow Andrew. I would just chase Andrew. What's he doing? Or okay, 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, I got this. And then there were days where he wouldn't be on the mic or on the screen. I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? I don't know where to get in. I don't know what to do. And that was short-lived. And then the struggle began.
Yeah, so I actually have a few questions to you, but before we go to that, I want people to see your P&L curve and take a look at these guys. This is his curve from July all the way till the most recent one. I mean, 9th of December, the moment I asked him. And take a look at this. And before that, there is a curve, like where it was going down, where it was going sideways. But as far as I remember, he's been green for like somewhere around 9 months now. There was a month which was difficult around here in August, but take a look at this. The difficult month, he didn't lose a lot on it. It was just a small pullback like we see in a normal graph, right? He held it, didn't even go down, didn't give the profits back, and then it slowly came back. And this curve around here is where you're basically not risking a lot. This is where you take a handful amount of shares with a fixed risk, with a fixed max loss for the day. You just try to survive. Not to blow out your account, just try to survive. Risk $1, $5, $3. It doesn't really matter at all. What really matters is consistency. Andrew already mentioned before. If you can make $1 a day consistently, you can make $1,000 a day. And then finally, every single trader, you get to that moment where it clicks, where you say like, I finally figured it out. And maybe not you finally figured it out, but I finally understand it better. You understand your edge, you understand your setup, you know what you exactly need to do, and then your curve just spikes like this. You start trading one single strategy, and you do it every day over and over and over. And take a look at these guys. From October 11th till December 10th, 2 months, basically 60 days, from somewhere around 30 hours or 40 hours to almost 125 hours. This is a really great consistency. And I want to show you when you zoom it into the last 30 days. I just want to show you how you need to be, or what we actually need to do to be consistent. What we really need to do, and I wouldn't say it's the secret of trading, because every single trading guru, book, blog you read are telling you this exact thing. Let your winners run and cut your losers. Have big winners, have small losers. And take a look what's happening around here. On a green day, it's a big green trade. And when he has a red trade, what happens? It's just a small red trade. Green trade, big green trade. When it's red, it's just small pullback. When it's green, again, it's spike up. When it's red, it's small. Green, spike. Red, small. And this is what you need to do to be consistent. And Brando, you told me, I think, how many trades you take a day on average?
At times I won't take any. I mean, I think I've only have the market's weird this week. There's only a few trades, but I think on average 1 to 2 trades a day.
Yeah. So on average, 1 to 2 trades, guys. And what's your average winner, the target that you aim for per trade?
Typically, it's 5R. So
take a look at this, guys. He takes 2 trades a day. If it's a winner, he tries to get 5R. If it's a loser, he keeps it at -1R. So the worst case scenario, it's -2. The best case scenario, it's a plus 10R day. This is what could happen right there. But enough about trading, because I mentioned like trading is mainly about discipline, and I've been really fascinated when Brandon mentioned to me this, and it's his daily routine. So can you tell us a little bit about your daily routine and how it actually helps you trading?
Sure. It's a little extreme, and I've been like this as long as I've been an entrepreneur. Typically, my day starts at 4 a.m. Eastern. I'll wake up at 4. I have a meal 1. My meals are all set for the day. So I'm really into the gym, fitness. Everything is calculated, weighed, measured. I don't compete. I didn't do any kind of fitness. It's just the way I am. I've worked with coaches in the past, which is why I see the value in working with a trading coach. But I'll start at 4. I'll get in a little stretching. I'll do 20 minutes of cardio. I will do, and this is weird for me too. This was totally something that's unlike me. I started meditating, and it's been about a year, but at first it was really hard to get used to. So I'll meditate. I get in a 1-hour session at the gym, come home. I get my kids off to school, and then I'm in front of the screens marking levels by 7:30, 8 a.m. until I'll stay till 4, take a break, spend some time with the family, and then I'll do podcasts, I'll review charts, I'll review my trades. It's quite extensive, Aiman.
So it's the same routine every day. Just take a look at this guy. Every day. He
My
wakes
wife
up at 4 a.m.
My wife calls me a robot. I should have been in the military. I'm very robotic. I do, and my trading is the same way.
So this is exactly like, take a look at this guy. Every single day, Brando wakes up at 4 a.m. He does cardio. He eats the same meal and the same meals every single day. He does the meditating. Then he sets his trading level. He draws his levels from 7 to 7:30 a.m. and he sits in front of his screens all the way till the market close. And I want you to pay attention to this. From 7:30 a.m. till the market close to take only 2 trades. How many of you can sit in front of their screens for at least like 2 hours without taking one single trade? I mean, I personally, I'm not that patient, and I admit it. I'm not like Brando. And my trading day usually is between 9:30 and 10 a.m. I'm going to try to be done after 10 a.m. because I get exhausted, and when I get exhausted, I start over trading. I just try to be done by 10 so that I don't do anything bad to my account. But Brand, he just can sit in front of his screen from the open till the close, looking at his chart to take only 2 trades. And in my opinion, what really helped him around here is the discipline. He told me he's been the same way for years. The same routine, having the same meals, having the same schedule. And if you're disciplined in your life, you can be disciplined in trading. But if you're not disciplined in your life, it's really difficult to be disciplined in trading, right? If you're doing everything differently, you tell yourself, I'll sit in a diet or go to the gym for 1 month, and then you go for 2 days or 3 days and you decide to take 2 or 4 days rests. I mean, it means that there is an issue with you and with your discipline, with your psychology, with your mindset. You can't just stick to doing one thing. And if you can't stick to following your plan in your daily life, you will not be able to do it in your training, because training is stressful. Right? It's really stressful. You are under pressure. You give money to the market and you want to make it back, and it's really difficult to make it back if you can't really do it. It's really difficult to be disciplined in trading under stress when you can't be disciplined in your life without having any stress around you.
So that's a really good point that you mentioned, Aiman, is the equity curve, the way that if you zoom in and zoom out on the equity curve, of course, this one goes up. It's very important to also note that you should have big jumps, but very small pullbacks. And that shows a consistent trade book, means that you catch big moves, but you lose the small. And that's a very, very important part of the trade book. I know a lot of people, when they have these big drops, they just blame psychology. Oh, psychology is the reason that I'm losing. But sometimes it's unfair to just put it on psychology, because your trade book should also protect. That's the first layer of defense, that defining a good stop loss. Then it becomes a psychology that if you actually implement it or not. A lot of traders, they have big losses because they just don't have a trade book that protects them from these big losses, and this is something that I really want to ask Brandon, that's how could you make your losses small? Does your trade book exactly helping you in defining the good parameters for risk and levels for stop loss? What's the reason?
It does. So again, much like my diet, I have everything written out. I have a coach for a diet plan, and I follow it to a T. If I break it, it's only for a special occasion, daughter's birthday, Christmas, whatever. And the same goes for my trade book. I'll admit at the beginning, I didn't have a trade book. I was blind. I didn't journal. Again, I got this. This is easy. This looks like a video game. I could do this. It wasn't until a certain point, and you can see in my equity curve, I think it was around September, and I was still loose with my trade book, and Aiman introduced me to pinpoints. And then, it's a combination of everything. It's a combination of Aiman, combination of Thor with the tape, level 2. You kind of find your own way, and I find myself, even up until yesterday, constantly modifying and making small, subtle little changes. But for the most part, it's a 1R loss, 3R loss max daily, and 5R is typically what my goal is. But if I hit 5R, obviously I'm done. I shut it down, but I will sit in front of my computer all day just to get the experience, learn the price action, and then even just to learn the market cycles. What is the Santa Claus rally? What is the triple witching? What is FOMC? I had no idea, about market volatility and how it affects the SPY. And, I've learned quite a bit over the last year.
So yeah, excellent. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And that's amazing. And again, you mentioned that, Aiman, about the R. I mean, the R can be anything. It can be $20, $200, $2,000, or it could be a Lamborghini, like $200,000 right now. I mean, the numbers that sometimes you see the P&L, my account is big. It wasn't like that, but now I was down $650,000 on a trade 2 days ago, and now I'm down $200,000. But these numbers really is irrelevant for different people because of different account sizes, different risk tolerance. So you can replace R with any number that you want. The most important thing is look at it very objectively based on the curve. Show me you can make $10 consistently. I'll show you how to make $1,000 consistently. Because after that, the liquidity of the market is enough to scale. Maybe you cannot get like $100,000 a day, but you definitely, to some extent, you can linearly increase it. A lot of people are telling me, if day trading is really possible, and if you can get 1% a day, why Warren Buffett is doing that? Well, Warren Buffett is investing $200 billion. When you have such a big fund, you can't just day trade in this guy. I mean, these are really good up to certain point, like $3-4 million accounts. Even in one of my accounts which is bigger, then I have to buy TNA or IWMSPY because the money that I'm making from day trading might not even beat the market in such a big account. That account needs to provide like $1 million return every year, and it's hard to get that from day trading. So that's why you need some exposure to the other markets. So day trading is really good to get these small returns daily, but when you reach to a point, it's really not that scalable. But that's great. That's a really, really nice equity, for the last 60 days that you showed. Always starts with beginner's luck. You go up a little bit, and then it comes down. The value of despair. Okay, what am I doing? And if you probably put the cost of commission and the overhead of your business, you might be actually on red. I don't know. This doesn't show that, but when you actually look at the commissions and the platform and community and all of these costs, it comes a little bit down. So yeah, it is the hockey stick, and it's any business like that. I don't know why people think that they should start trading and just right away goes up. You start. Brandon, you mentioned that you're having a business on the side, or every business you need some money, some establishment, some tools, and then you need marketing, getting the customers, and then setting up your base, and eventually you get. And a lot of businesses fail. A lot of people are telling me that 90% of the traders fail. This is a scam. What's the success rate of startups in US? Look it up in Google. It's like 90% failure. It's like any other business, even restaurants that, there's a very high, big failure rate in them. So you have to look at it as a business. And yes, as a business, there's a very good chance of a failure. But that shouldn't stop you from, again, entrepreneurs shouldn't stop you from taking the challenge and doing it the right way.
Yeah, and back to the point that Andrew mentioned, like it's not all discipline, because trading it's two parts. It's technicals and it's psychology, right? If you are the best and the most disciplined guy ever, but you don't have a strategy which is being proven to work, proven to you that it's actually working, because there are a lot of strategies. You can pick any one of them, but you need to make sure that it works for you. You will not be consistent. If you have the best strategy with the best criteria set, but you can't stick to them, you'll also not be consistent. It's a combination of both. So yeah, Branda, I think you've been trading for 2 years, and there is a question right there in the chat for you. How long did it take you before you finally started finding consistency, or you finally started?
You can see it
that it actually worked. Yeah,
you can see it in that small, where the change was. Aiman, and I remember your exact words. We were in a mentorship session, and you said, and I'm trying. The pinpoints drove me. I like them. They created so much anxiety for me at the open. I can't even explain it. 5-6 open orders, long,
last
short,
equals
cover,
191.23.
Too much when you said maybe you can use these later on in the day, and that may even suit you better. And when I heard that, and when I when you mentioned that, I thought, okay. So I would wait till 10:30, like we had mentioned. I go through all the charts, mark my levels, and it gives me more time to think, analyze, because they're limit orders too. I have to manually calculate my limit, calculate my stop, calculate my entry exit, and it works for me. So now when when the market opens, I'm very calm. Even with my trades, I still feel the anxiety. I'm running through all the rules in my head. Is there volume? Is it full ATR? Is it a reversal candle? And then I'll enter the trade. But it took over a year. The first 6 months, or even say 4 or 5 months, I wouldn't say they were a wash, but they were just getting to know just the basics. And that was one of the things I would do too. I would typically find myself Googling how long does it take to be a day trader, and I would try and find something for the answer that I was looking for. I would do YouTube videos, and I think everybody has a different. And I sound like you guys, or I sound like most people who have found a little bit of success. Everybody's different, and I can't really say, but for myself, it was about a year.
Yeah, excellent. So can we move forward to your trade book and show us some of your trades?
Sure.
Because I think probably a lot of people are wondering what's the trade book?
Sure.
So I'm sharing now a slide of one of the trades you've taken on JPM. I think you can see it. So yeah, you can talk about your trade, explain it, and maybe.
Yeah, so the pinpoint entry, so I'll use the 60-minute chart. I'll look for a strong level on the 60. I'll mark that level, and I'll look for stopping volume on the 1, 2, and 5. I'll look for a reversal candle, and then I'll enter my trade, and typically it's during the day, it's roughly 5% of ATR. So I'll calculate 5%, calculate my shares, and then enter a limit order manually.
So your stop loss is based on the ATR?
No, yes.
So you mentioned 5% of the ATR is your stop loss, yeah?
It is, yes.
That's a very, very interesting way of doing it. Very, very interesting. And I love this analytical approach that a lot of people are having difficulty, including myself when I'm scalping, that the stop loss has kind of become, for me, it's like an art. I'm around this area, I'm getting out of it. But if you can, that's how algos work, and that's why they're better than us, is that their stop loss is very defined, like 5% of the mathematical number, like ATR. So that's that trade that you showed us is a reversal, looking at the 60-minute chart, and
ABNB. Last equals 170.52.
Based on what you identify the levels?
So the levels, there is a level on the 60, but I guess the chart is cut from the 60 from before. I can see it on the daily here. Yeah, I can see it on the daily around here. So the first step, right, Brando?
It is. Yes. So it's a previous level that held. And then I'll watch for the activity at that area. And like I said, my A plus is typically full 100%, or very close, 80% to 100% ATR. And then my second trade is exactly the same thing. It will be at a level. It does not have to be at full ATR, but it will be parabolic with a 5-minute.
The AFRM trade, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a reversal, and again based on 60-minute charts.
Again, Andrew, every single trade, and it's similar to how John and he trades a break right. It's just one style, some variances between the two, but and it works for me. I'm calm. I understand it. I can see it, and for now anyway. That's not to say I wouldn't expand my playbook in the future, but for now I love this style of trade.
Excellent. And how do you get the ATR for each day? Gator is asking a good question.
So typically what I do use is the 14-day ATR, and I can send a screenshot. But Kyle, in his technology sessions, I think there's something in the room drive, and I have a little window that shows 1, 2, 3, 14, 30-day ATR. It's very easy to see it that way. I know Aiman uses it on a 60 or daily. I prefer to use it that way. It's easier to see.
Yeah, Trade Ideas also have the 14 days ATR.
They do, yes.
That's very nice. Another question that came up, did you go through PCT bootcamp or no?
I did not know. I would just have private sessions with Aiman.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I don't know, maybe...
the clear, and again, it's really technical the way he's doing it, as Andrew mentioned it. Like the first thing he's looking for is a move on the daily chart, and the move on the daily chart, it needs to have done a full ATR move. Basically, you want the stock to be exhausted today. It's already at its maximum potential based on the ATR. And we know that the ATR is just an average number. It could be more, it could be less, right? I mean, it's not fixed. That's why there is a success rate for this setup. But the ATR alone is not enough. The next thing he's looking for is a clear daily level closer to that full ATR. Third thing he's looking for is a parabolic move on a smaller time frame. For example, the 5-minute chart. That was basically on FRM. There it is. Fourth thing, he's looking for increasing volume at the half of the day, and then basically a new low to get the entry. And he keeps doing this over and over and over. And I asked Brando, can you send me like your best trades and worst trades? And you could see, and he can explain his worst trades. But even the worst trades are textbook setups. You could see that yes, it is the worst trade maybe because it lost, but it's not a really bad trade. So Brando, can you go through the losing trade?
Yeah, again, I mean, it's exactly, I follow my rules to a T, much like I follow my diet, much like I follow everything else in my life. I can't break my rules. So I stick to my setup, and if it's there, I have to pull the trigger. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And again, that's that probability thing that took me a little while to understand too, trading in the zone, Michael Douglas. It's difficult. Those red days, although they're small, because my R isn't, anywhere near yours or Andrew's, but it's still difficult. I have to walk away. I've got to, get away from the screens for 10 minutes just to kind of reset myself and get back into it.
Yeah, that's a very
you mentioned
thing, guys.
and Andrew, your microphone is muted, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. The chat room people can't hear you as well. You are not in the microphone there. Yeah. Use both. It's okay. I mean, okay. Use the chat room, man. It's okay. Mm-hmm.
So, guys, yeah, sorry about that. There's because we're through Zoom. I'm really sorry. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, good.
Yeah, we can.
So I have a question here. So that was a very, very interesting trade that you did. So you followed your trade book, and you got a stopped out. And you said that, I'm exactly following my rule. It should be disappointing that you followed exactly your rule, but you got stopped out. But you mentioned there's a word that I really like, the probability. The concept of probability trading, that even if you do exactly what you are building, it may not work. And that doesn't mean that you are stupid. That doesn't mean that the trade book is not working. It's just the nature of the market is the probability. And that's very important for you guys, that don't get disappointed with the stop loss and don't say, this one doesn't work, my trade book doesn't work, where did I do wrong? Sometimes you just didn't do anything wrong. It's just the nature of the probability of the market. You throw dice, that's a probability. You cannot certainly say that what the market does. What you should do is, by risk management, you should get that consistency over time. And that's very, very important. There are some elements that you can say, okay, if I'm getting stopped out because my stocks in play is not a good choice, or what? If your stocks in play is the correct choice, if everything is good and you do the trade book right exactly what you plan and you get stopped out, that's still okay. That's the whole nature of the market, that there is a probability in it. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. I was reading a story about a hedge fund manager that he hired a quant. I think it was in the book Market Wizards. And the hedge fund manager was talking with the quant, and the quant said, I did the calculations and this should be the low of the day. And the hedge fund manager said, are you sure? And they said, no, 100% I'm sure this calculation is there. The market should bounce from this point. And then when the market comes down, the hedge fund manager picked up the phone and asked one of his traders to dump a little of shares. And they did, and the market dipped even lower because they dumped the shares and said, what happened? You mentioned that it's going to bounce here. Did you see that? You didn't see that one coming. I don't know how true is the story.
Last
but,
equals 154.03.
The market is random. Market can do anything at any moment. What you should do, you should find the consistent pattern that you're looking for, and you try to, survive in that market. But in Iran, the driving is a little bit messy. In India is also like that, and Nepal. And it's just a total random. But people somehow, especially the motorcycles, found these consistent patterns between the cars to make their way. I don't know if you just look up the driving in India or something like that. It's really funny. Iran is also like that. That's the whole thing. You're in a chaos, but based on experience, you are able to find this consistent pattern to make your way. And that's what trading is about.
Yeah, and that's great, Andrew. And Brando, I think you mentioned Mark Douglas' book, Andrew's book, and are there any podcast, books, videos that you would recommend the members around here to watch? Some stuff you enjoy that maybe help you?
Sure, Aiman. I have a list. I can send it to you. I don't know if you can put it in the drive. I'm sure a lot of them do, but or I've heard of it. But podcast, the Trading Coach podcast, Chat with Traders, Wall Street Breakfast, Trading Nut, Alpha Mind, Bloomberg, Be the Trader. Again, my life is just, this is all I do right now. It's YouTube, podcast, videos, YouTube, obviously BBT, Humble Traders, Ali Stokes, SMB, Randy Howell, Brett Steenbacher, Anna Cooling, and then books. I've read so many. And the thing I found with the books, and they were recommendations a lot from Thor, people in the room, I think they have to be read in a specific order, because I started very early reading Trading in the Zone, and it did not make any sense to me at all. I've gone through that book about 4 times now, and the last one that I listened to was a Michael Douglas YouTube video. I think it's a 7 or 8 hour seminar on YouTube. It's gold. It's just so many things. Every day, little pieces fall into place. That makes sense. This makes sense. That makes sense. And it's just, it's pieces of the puzzle, and it just helped me tremendously.
This is actually a good thing, guys. And why is it? Because, I've been trading for around 5 years. Andrew's been trading for more than 10 years. And there are a lot of moderators who's been I would say, veteran traders around here. And Brando around here, he's been trading for around 2 years, and he's really good at that. Why is it? Because it's something that we didn't pay attention to. Like, if I read a trading book, it will make some sort of sense to me. But Brando just said it right now. Like, some books need to be read in a specific order to understand, especially if you are a total beginner. Just for it to make sense, you can't just start reading, for example, volume price analysis without even understanding how the charts work out, right? Or what volume is and all the stuff. So I'll attach the list that Brando mentioned around here with some of the books and some of the stuff that he watched, and hopefully it would be helpful for you. And remember, guys, again, it's not all about books and videos and podcasts. It's not that the more you watch, the better you become. It's, as he mentioned, like, it's small pieces falling together, and you don't change your whole style. And again, when I upload this list, it's a huge list of a lot of videos, a lot of podcasts, a lot of books. But look at his style. His style is, it's pretty simple. It's a little bit of what I'm doing. It's a little bit of what Thor is doing. It's straightforward style. He didn't include like every single thing he heard of every single trader or video and to put it in his trade book and just complicate it. The trading doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be complex. It's simple, but you just adjust it to fit your personality. And one more thing, like I told you, I trade at the open. From basically, I start setting my limits at 9 a.m. By 10 a.m. I'm usually done. Brando trades the exact same style, but he trades it later in the day. I don't trade later in the day at all. But you see how he adjusted the style that I'm doing to fit his personality to trade later on the day. I didn't tell him that later on the day you need to see this and that and trade it like this exact way. He just took the key points we discussed right there, and we tried to make it slowly to fit his personality. And he did the hard work. And that's actually my next question. How many hours a day on average, right now or before at least, you've been spending for trading, journaling, looking at the charts, prepping for the pre-market? So tell members how many hours a day you are averaging just to get yourself or to study trading.
So, Aiman, and I'm one to obsess, and I go hard, I go all in when I do something. And it wasn't uncommon, and this is going to sound crazy, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. And I'm not joking. And it's not all in front of the screen. Like, I still can get work done, whether it's, mowing the lawn or going for a run, going for a walk, doing cardio. I've got the ear pod in my ear, so I'm still listening to Andrew's books or, whatever book it is. I'm still consuming, I'm taking it in. But it was a lot of time. And another thing I wanted to say, if you don't like it, and I learned this from my previous business, you don't have a passion for it, and you're only doing it for the money, you won't win at it. Because somebody like me, I really have a passion for this, and I always did. I just didn't have the time, stuck with business. And I'll work you every day. Not because it's ego, not because I think I'm better than you, because I truly, truly enjoy doing it. There'll be a point where you'll fall off because, you can't put the hours in because you don't care about the market. You don't care about trading.
And take a look at this, guys. What does this mean? 10, 12 hours a day. What does that mean? It means that's hard. Trading is not easy. I mean, no matter how many videos you watch and no matter how simple it looks when someone is just sharing his screen and then you see the numbers he's getting in and then it's like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000 in 5-10 seconds and then he sells some $30,000 profits. It's not that easy when you're trading. It took a lot of time to get into this level. 10, 12 hours a day for around 2 years, and he's still spending, I would say, not less than 7 hours a day for now at least. And by the way, guys, I'm not telling you that you need to spend 10 or 12 hours a day to learn it. Just what I'm telling you is that you need to invest time in it. But eventually, this curve around here, it's totally worth the time. Right? This curve.
What are the other... Sorry, Aiman. I was going to say one of the other things also was when you had mentioned, and they didn't have it at the time, I know BBT has it, and that was the market replay mode. So to increase my screen time on the weekends, I would do the replay as you suggested, in our mentor sessions at 4 times 8 times speed. And then once you get to 10, 11, 12, increase it to 8 or 10 or 12, just to train my eye to see how the candles move, how everything kind of fits together. Which
and thanks for mentioning that. By the way, yeah, and thanks for mentioning that. You see, guys, I mean, you don't really need to spend the time in front of your screens to learn it. You can spend it on the weekends. And the good thing is the replay feature. And by the way, BBT released a free stock trading simulator. I mean, it's stocktradingsimulator.com. You'll see it typed here on the top of this screen before uploading this video to YouTube. It's free for everyone. You can just simply use it, practice trading on it. The moderators post their watch list. There is an archive of 3 months worth of moderators' watch list. Pick the watch list of the moderator your style is closer to. If you love scalping, take a look at Andrew's watch list. If you are trading the VPA, pivot points, take a look at Thor's watch list. If you're trading breakouts or pinpoints, support resistance levels, you can take a look at my and Simon watch list. And you can practice trade there. You really need to invest the time in it, not only in real market, also in the replay feature. And just one last question I had. Do you get bored of trading?
I don't. There are times. I'll be honest with you. I mean, there are times during the day where I have to. I'll have my montage lock like it is now because I want to trade something. I have to take it. But again, like I said, what I was saying previously, I don't. I really don't. I love it. I have Charlie on. I have you guys on on my laptop on the side of all my screens, and I enjoy the community. I enjoy trading. Again, I think that's why if you really do enjoy it and you don't get bored, I think you can succeed at it.
I have a question, Aiman, from you as his mentor. So when Brandon reached out to you, what did you do? How did you fix it? Not fix it, but how did you help him? What did you see he's doing wrong? And what was your first steps to try to correct his approach in trading?
So the first step we did kind of an introduction session. I needed to know what his level is at, what he's doing. I mean, we didn't jump instantly into strategy or something like that. I just wanted to know how he's doing right now. What is he doing? What is his fixed strategy? What is the strategy that he's trading? And basically on this, a bit later, I told him that I need to take a look at his journal and his trades. So basically showed him what screenshots he need to take so that I can take a look at, because mainly, and I know it from my experience because I've also been trading for a lot of time and I've also been struggling trader for 2 or 2.5 years. I know that most traders when they start, they kind of make the same mistakes. It's beginner mistakes, buying when the stock is extended, going against the overall trend, going against VWAP or against the 9 EMA. It's kind of similar mistakes. So at first, we started just building some general rules, not strategy, the general rules. Don't go on the third 5-minute candle. Don't go against the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Basically just to decrease the loss rate. And then finally, we started tuning a strategy. And I think we went through a couple of them, right, Brando? We went through ABCD patterns. We went through the parabolic reversals. We went through breakouts until right now the pinpoints. And we could see that the one that actually clicked with Brando is pinpoints. Some people I've worked with, they don't love pinpoint. They feel breakouts, and you could see that similar curve, but with trading breakouts. And what is this telling you? You can just simply trade, I don't know, Andrew style because you like how it looks like because it's fast, right? But when it actually takes you so long time to type the amount of shares, to make the decision to get into a trade, to when you can't really watch multiple stocks at the same time. At the same time, you can't really trade, I don't know, maybe VPA and pivot points if you don't pay much attention to them and if you don't really enjoy them. You can't trade, I don't know, maybe breakouts if you can't read the daily chart and the 60-minute chart. It's different strategies, a lot of strategies out there, but you really need to find that strategy that actually works for you. And as far as we can see around here, the one that actually tuned and worked with Brando and eventually that we got into is the pinpoint strategy. I'm not saying that he wasn't consistent with the previous strategies. I think with breakouts, he's been consistent for like 4 or 5 months. But how many hours have you been averaging, Brando, a month with breakouts?
December's a little bit different. I'm about 25, I believe, right now, but prior it was about 40 hours per month.
Yeah, and now with pinpoints, it's kind of spiked for him. So basically, this is what really clicked for him, and this is what exactly started working better for him. So as mentioned, introduction, try to understand the level of the trader, try to understand what is he lacking, go through their trades to understand what mistakes they're doing, if there are general mistakes, and then just start tuning the strategy. Tuning the strategy is definitely not enough. Most of the time that we are spending is just going through the trades and making sure that one sticks to the strategy. This is the hardest part. Explaining a strategy, understanding it is not really hard. I think you could go to BBT Education Center. There are a lot of strategies which explain in detail, but what you really need to understand is how to select stocks to play this strategy. And this is one of the important things, like stock selection. What stock are you going to play this strategy at? And the other thing is following the rules for this strategy.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention, Aiman.
Yeah,
sorry, I just wanted to mention very quickly, I think, and stress the importance of even having a trading buddy. I found, and I was very grateful, I'm lucky to find Peter B. He's a BBT member. And I feel it helped me, obviously it helped me trading. He knows so much. You know, I would bounce my trades off him daily, and he'll give me quick points on a daily. I'll write everything down. And even with my phone, I'll always have my phone on me. I will have a notepad up, and anything that comes to my mind, whether I'm driving, at the gym, walking the dog, with the kids, I'll write a question that I have to either send it to Aiman or send it to Peter. And I think that's been just both of them been just excellent in my success.
Yeah, excellent. Trading buddy is really, really important. One of the reasons that we do the meetups all around the world is we just want to facilitate to getting people to know each other and exchanging WhatsApp numbers and social media to be in touch with it. I found like Brian at the beginning was his trading buddy, and he still is to this date. When we trade together, it's just it's really, really good to have that. So another question that I have from both of you is, so a lot of people think that a mentorship means that you have to come and exactly copy, just get the secret sauce from your mentor and then just go and trade. But based on the discussion that we had, is Brandon, you actually evolved to a different trader. You got some ideas from Aiman, but you're not exactly trading his trade book or exactly like him. You actually adopted his style, but you build your own trade book, and you are a different trader than Aiman. Is that correct?
It is, Andrew, and I think a lot of that's come from the webinars in BBT. I believe it or not, I've watched, since I've been a member, I've watched every single BBT webinar, and minus Ed's, because there's a lot of new ones in there. And just a lot of, again, little bits and pieces have resonated with me. The L2, time and sales from Thorpe, somewhat pivots, and I kind of mesh them all together, and it just makes sense for me.
Yeah,
so
and as Andrew said,
go ahead, Aiman. Yeah, I was just going to say that it's important when you don't copy someone don't try to just copy blindly someone. The whole mentorship is about, just learning and adapting. Like Ed Martin was my mentor early back in 2013. He was my mentor, and I learned a lot from him. But I just completely evolved to a different trader. But I adopted a lot of his patience, but a lot of his management, the way that he looks at the price action, I adopted those early on. Go ahead, Aiman.
No, this is good. And what I would say, like when I mentor, I don't mentor styles that I don't trade. It's always like, and it's basically this, I think I mentioned, I will teach you my perspective. I will not teach you Andrew's perspective. I will not teach you Peter's perspective, and I will not teach you Thor's perspective because I don't trade like them, right? I'll teach you my perspective. I'll tell you how I look at the market. If you want to trade the exact same way, that's good. But I would always recommend that you listen to other moderators, listen to other strategies, watch other videos, and try to put your touch into it. Because the way I trade, it also evolved from other traders. It evolved from BBT. The BBT moderators, when I joined BBT, I didn't have trading style. I was a beginner. I had nothing to start with, right? But I picked a little bit from Andrew. I picked a little bit from Robert. I picked a little bit from Brian. And slowly, I evolved to where I am right now. And this is basically the exact same thing that Brando is doing right now. I mean, he picks a little bit piece of information from everywhere and he tries to put it into his style. But he doesn't just combine everything and tries to make secret sauce out of it, because there is no secret sauce, right? You can't just put pivot points, volume, level 2, strategy around here, and just put it all together. You can pick pieces and put them there if they resonate with you. And that's something Brando mentioned. When he listens, something really resonates with him, resonates with his style, and then he puts it into his strategy. He doesn't just, Brian said, for example, that he's having the 920 strategy, so I'm going to somehow fit this in my strategy to make it better. It will not work this way, right? It needs to suit your style. It needs to make sense with your trading strategy. So, Brandon, do you have any tips, like any final tips or advices that you could share with the people around here that could actually help them at least decrease the learning curve?
Yeah, again, Aiman, just like you previously mentioned, I'm going to be honest. At the beginning, as a new trader, it sucks. It's hard. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going on. There's stuff flashing all over the place. In the books I'm reading, the podcast, if you enjoy it and you put in the time, put in the work, it eventually things will fall in place. Screen time. For myself to speed things up, like I previously mentioned, I would do replay mode at 4 times, 8 times. Some of the moderators, even in BBT, and I think some of the psychologists as well, they tend to talk a little bit slower. So in order to speed that up, if my time is crunched, I'll play it at 2 times speed, and I can still take in a lot of the what they're saying. And I've always got a pad, paper, and my notepad on my phone. Anything that I don't understand or don't know, I'll mark it down. I'll study it after the market closes. And I mean, it's like anything. You got to put in the time, put in the work, and eventually things will fall in place.
There is one person just emailed me, this morning, and he's not a member of our community, but he said that I'm losing money 1 year consistently, and I have a wedding in April next year. What do you recommend? Obviously, I don't know exactly how he's losing money, but my suggestion is, if you really want to become a trader, there is a better way to lose money. You just stay in a simulator and develop your trade book. Try to learn the skill until you're ready or you have enough money. There's another guy, Joshua, emailed me yesterday and he said, I'm 18 years old and I'm just getting into the school. I have less than $2,500 and I need $2,500 to get the margin from interactive brokers in Canada. And I told him that, you're just way ahead of your life, very young, and you're way ahead. Just learn the skills. Just trade in a simulator. Develop that trade book, and just build the equity curve on a simulator until you're ready. A lot of people, how many of us when we were 18, 20, still, the adults play video games every day, just hours of video game. Consider this as a video game. Just build the skill of the video game. But there's a difference between this video game and the, FIFA or Call of Duty video game is that you actually can make money out of this if you're mastering this video game. So for those of you who are not able to put a lot of time or don't have enough capital, but you really want to make it as a trader, just show up once 1 hour, 2 hours a day, build a consistent trade book, make it really nice equity curve in a simulator until you're ready and your life allows you or the time allows you on that. This is just definitely a marathon. And, I don't know exactly how much Brandon is spending time. I know you're really deep into that. But I'm a big advocate of part-time trading. You don't need to have 8 hours of, a screen time. I'm the perfect example of this, that, do the trade recap, gone. I'm not even behind my station over there. So don't burn out yourself too much. It's good to practice, but having too much time not necessarily make you a better trader. It might actually burn you out. Like Brandon, you're in the fitness industry. Exercise is important, but sleep and recovery are as important as, going into the gym. So you have to also remember that.
Yeah, and actually,
go ahead, sorry.
no, I just want to mention one thing. One thing Brandon mentioned, like one of the things that helped him, not only the mentorship, not only the books, not only the podcast that he listened to, it's a trading buddy as well. And you guys here, you are in BBT, a big community with a lot of different traders, a lot of different members, and a lot of them are trading similar to you. So find that someone who trades closer to you and exchange that information with them. You don't really need to teach each other stuff. You just need to hold each other accountable. Tell them that, okay, today I'm going to take 3 or 5 trades, and by the end of the day, I'm going to send you my trades. And when you tell them that, you will try to hold yourself accountable. I told my trading buddy that today I'm not over trading. I told my trading buddy that today I'm not going over my max loss, and I need to do that. At least like these simple ways, they will affect your trading in one way or another.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, and I wish you much success. And again, I don't want this to be a sales pitch for Peak Capital, but that's what we are doing at Peak Capital Bootcamp is, we're accepting people that they come with a little of experience, obviously no newbie, and people who actually have 3 months or something of a simulator or live trading account. And now we're trying to pinpoint the problem, which most of the time is not having a trade book. They're just trading randomly. And then define and refine their trade book over the course of 3 months, working with Simon, Aiman, Dima as the co-captains, plus the Peter and John who have consistent trade books. Like John has the break of high of the day, Peter has mountain pass or the lightning bolt pattern. Peter has a couple of really nice trade books, and they help them to refine that trade book. And again, you can do it by yourself. You can do it with a mentor. You can do it in a boot camp. You can read, just by books and other online sources. Again, I don't want it to be a sales pitch, but one of the things that we really, really want to emphasize on Peak Capital is the individual or semi-private trade book sessions. Like you send your trade book to Simon, Simon reads it, sends a feedback to you, that okay, add this or remove these parts, to help you, because Simon has done a great job building the trade book. But you don't have to go to the trade book or pay it for other people. Like Brandon is a perfect example of someone he actually did it yourself. Having said that, remember, I wish successful Brandon, but he's not successful forever. He has to be careful. He has to adjust his trade book over time, market condition. Like today was a day that really I just, traded a small size, and you know what, I don't want anything from this market. It's just, at the end of the year. So the success in trading is a continuous thing, don't wait for that moment that, okay, from now on, everything is happening. Every day is a struggle. Every day you wake up in the morning, you're doing stuff down and everything, and that's just the nature of trading. And any other career, like a professional athlete, like Cristiano Ronaldo, the best soccer player in the world, every match is a new thing. LeBron James, every match is, a hassle that you have to survive. So that's how it is. I don't have anything really from my side. We have a little time, 2 minutes. I'll just leave it up to you guys. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. And thanks, Brandon, for this unpaid, unsolicited time that you came. You don't charge us for anything. It's just that, how generous you are, and you're giving this back to the community. And I wish really success to you. And thank you for all of the members who came and contributed to that. So I'm going to sign off, but feel free to stay here if you have time, of course. And happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Happy holidays, everyone.
You,
and guys, do you guys have any questions to Brandon before we end this? And regarding Brandon's podcast and books, I'm going to attach those. And again, really thank you, Brandon, for spending your time. It's been a full hour.
Oh yeah,
I thought it will take
problem,
less.
Aiman. That's okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Brandon, for your time. And we'll leave a few minutes for any questions you have, and then we can call it a day. So there is a question for you. What do you do when you start to feel invincible?
I walk away because it's happened to me before too, where I'll have 2 or 3 day green days and the market spanks me the first trade. I'm red right away. And I recognize that, I have overconfidence and I'll walk away for 10 minutes just to kind of reset myself.
Another question for you. Do you have a list of stocks that you watch on a daily basis?
I do. Yeah. It's actually Aiman's list. And I'll take his list and I'll kind of add a few here and there depending on what I see on TradingView or FinViz, and I'll kind of watch them on a daily. But for the most part, 95% of my list is Aiman's watch list.
Do you use scanners in your trading?
I do. And that was, I would say it's a mistake. When I first started, I was looking for more information. So I had mentioned I was trying to trade orbs at the beginning when I started trading with BBT. And I needed to get when I started losing, because obviously it wasn't me, it was something else. So I needed TI, I needed Elite FinViz, I needed Benzinga Pro, I needed it all. But I'll be honest, as a newer trader, I don't think you need a TI at all.
That's cool. Any more questions, guys? I guess that's it. So yeah, thank you again, Brando. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. This will be recorded. It will be posted on YouTube. And again, if you have any questions after that, you can email me. You can email Andrew. Brando is BBT member. He's an old BBT member. You can always ask him or chat with him in the chat room. And have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.